Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. And the finale of Wing Attack 4-player. And just Wing Attack in general. We finally completed it. So I know we didn't get to see the name of this one. I believe this hole is called Flamingo Necklace or something akin to that. Because it's going around the flamingo's neck. But, man. You guys are kind of lucky you've seen this at all, because this... I knew Wing Attack had some difficulty to it, but I did not realize that 4-player Wing Attack would be the hardest at all for it. Not that we have done so far, but by far, this was the hardest one. By far. It was... And not this whole specific, I'll talk about the ones that are difficult specifically, but this one, until we get to like the 6th, 7th hole, actually wasn't that bad. This wasn't too terrible. This one, and you saw at the beginning, we restarted already. But this one took me 2 attempts, maybe 3 attempts, I believe. I don't know why I put a backspin on most of these shots. I should have gone for topspin to get the ball to stop, but whatever. Or not get the ball to stop to let it keep rolling up the hill, but whatever. Yeah, I remember last week I said that this is basically just a leftover scraps. There's not much left they can do with these holes. I was wrong. I was so wrong about these, but I was able to complete it after a ton of attempts and a few F words, I might add. It is rather frustrating the later ones, but till then. Blooper Bay was actually pretty chill still. I did have one hole that gave me some difficulty, but once I figured it out, it wasn't too bad. Well, once I figured out who should go where and chip in. Boo got a chip in. So Boo won't get the celebration. But it's also not Waluigi because, well, he gave himself a hard putt because I used topspin. Not a good idea. Yoshi, yeah. I'm gonna go over how I feel about Wing Attack after doing all four versions of it, i.e. single player, 2-player, 3, and 4-player. Overall, I would say if you're obviously gonna play this game, if you're gonna 100% it, you have to do single player Wing Attack. But I wouldn't, unless you're looking for a real difficult challenge, I wouldn't even bother with the 2 or 3 or 4-player. And yeah, we failed again. This is the hole that gave me some trouble until I figured out that if I just use the right characters in the right spots, I could just do it this way. And you can see my revelation happening right there. Because it's like, wait a minute. Why am I using Yoshi to grab this swing here when I have Birdo who curves that way anyways? So I send Yoshi over here. But yeah, if you're going to 100% this game, unless you're looking for like a real difficult challenge, don't bother doing Wing Attack 2, 3, or 4-player. There's no reason to. As I believe I've stated before, there's no actual reward for doing 2, 3, or 4-player Wing Attack. You're just doing it because you want the challenge or show it off, maybe. And whatever you want to do, but my recommendation is don't. There's not much of a reason to. Especially with 4-player Wing Attack. Oh my gosh. Talk about frustrating. It is the most frustrating thing in this game I've done so far. I don't believe anything else is actually going to top it. I believe we actually reached like the highest difficulty we'll get for this game with 4-player Wing Attack. But yeah, that's my recommendation. Like if you and a friend want to try to do like 2-player Wing Attack, like go for it, but don't take it too seriously because you're probably going to frustrate your friend or each other at some point, because all it takes is one single mistake and it's over. You failed the hole. That's the whole thing about Wing Attack that's so frustrating. Is that in single player I understand, but 2, 3, and 4-player, everybody having to get par makes it so much more difficult than you would think. Because if you didn't have to get par and you could spread the, say like 2-player, and you play like a par 5, you got 10 strokes, right? Because each player has to make pars, so you get 5 each. So if you could just split that, and one player could take like 6 or 7 shots, the other takes like 2 or 3. Or, you know what I mean, as long as you stay within the amount of shots it would normally take to get forward. That would make it so much better. But, obviously they didn't do that, and you have to make par with every single character, which makes, especially like some holes, really frustrating because of how you have to grab the wings. It's like, okay, they grab this wing, now they have such a long way to go compared to everyone else. They have to try and recover from that with the very limited strokes they got left. And yeah, I should not have used... Well, no, the backspin is fine. I tend to use the backspin a lot when I have high winds. And I will, yeah, I didn't cheat, but I did go back to the menu quite a bit in the later rounds to change the winds for the holes, because the winds were just getting to be too much on some of these holes. And pin shot, because, of course, Boo's like the champion. Yeah, once I figured out this hole, it wasn't too bad, and the whole answer was just sending Yoshi to the other wings instead of Birdo. And yeah, Blooper Bay was not bad. Blooper Bay was pretty easy, considering everything that I had gone through in the later holes, so. It was up until the first hole, I think, of Peach's Castle Grounds that I started feeling the difficulty. And I mean, this, like, Blooper Bay, for reference, I believe it took me about, within half an hour? Not even, half an hour, I believe. I think it was actually within like 20 minutes I completed all 4 holes, even with the fails. This one took me a couple tries, mostly because, well, I only saw that when we started, but you didn't see why. I missed a putt. Birdo missed a putt by 0.8 something foot, so I had to retry it. But I wasn't too frustrated because it was the first try. I never expected we do it on the first try, especially not anymore. But we finally, for the first time, I believe, in this whole playthrough, get to go on the whale, because we can actually reach it with a character, and let alone one character, we have to do it 2. Actually, I didn't have to do it 2, but I did. See. You'll see why, because obviously we got those wings there, which are in front of the whale, because the whale is awesome. And my throat is itching. I apologize. My allergy is still kicking me in, but I know. So I apologize if I sound nasally or home sniffling or whatever. My allergies are just getting worse by the day. And freaking Boo can just make it without the power shot, but the power shot is kind of necessary. I don't know why I clipped down. And then I didn't use the power shot because we had the wind on our side, which I got so lucky. See? Look at that look. Yeah, I lied. Took me 3 tries. Yeah, I kept a couple fails in here just so you guys could actually see some of the fails that I had throughout this whole thing. Because some of them were like that. It's like, I messed up my power, I messed up my accuracy. Went in the water. And some of them were just missing a tiny little putt. But I decided to show some of the fails this time. Not many, I think it was like 3 total I just showed in this one. Just so you guys can see, it's like how little it takes to fail some of these, or how frustrating it can be after everything goes right and you miss one putt and it's completely on you. That one was, this fail was completely on me. It wasn't the wind, nothing. It wasn't the wind, anything, RNG. It was just me messing up the accuracy and the power, and Boo fell right off. So this time I used the power shot. I don't want to hit it too far, simply because the wind. And if you could tell, my controllers still give me troubles in most of these episodes. I really should have changed controllers because it was part of the frustration. And after all that, Boo almost ends up at the left, but he doesn't quite reach it, thank gosh. And these wings, yeah. You know my opinion on these wings, I hate these things. These wings are the bane of my existence. Mostly because that tornado is just so frustrating to get into. And my accuracy screwed that one because Yoshi didn't get any wings. Like, are you kidding me? Yoshi didn't grab a single wing, dude. Come on. That's all you needed to do was grab the wings. Whatever. And then this happens. Oh crap. Is it over? Well, I can send Birdo over here. I can send Birdo over here. And grab all 4 rings. Because apparently that wasn't part of the plan, but I was actually part of the plan was to send Yoshi back through those wings. And one of these wings. Yeah. You don't even if you play this whole Nova, you won't see this down here. But there's a platform down here with a fairway and everything, specifically just for this. Like, in normal play, you're never gonna aim for this platform. You're gonna aim for the hole. This platform is just here. For this, specifically. So, yeah. Normal gameplay, you never see that. And then you got Boo here, who just... He failed the first round, but then second round, he just ended up playing the hole like I wouldn't normally play it, probably. Because, I mean, what would be the point of not just going for the hole and putting a backspin to put myself in the bunker? But Birdo, because Yoshi missed the wings, is in the popping spot of that she's on her last stroke. Like, she's in trouble. She has to make this putt. Which is not an easy looking putt for the looks of it. Because Yoshi, even after all that he tried, ended up getting 0 wings, the same amount as Boo. So Waluigi and Birdo could have done this hole by themselves. Because what do you mean? that Boo and Yoshi didn't have a single ring. And the ridiculous thing is that Waluigi still has a spare shot, so he could just get it up here and chip it on. Because of course he does. Why wouldn't he be able to do that? And even though I didn't hit it hard enough, yeah, he's fine. Boo has 2 shots, so this... Actually, Boo has 3 shots, so it doesn't matter here what he does. He can just get over here and he's done. Now Birdo. Awkward putt. Downhill. Yeah, I'll put it in. Because of course I can make that putt, but I think the putt I missed the first time was only like 10 foot. Because, yeah. So it did take me 3 tries for this hole, but yeah. 3 tries, not that bad. Not that bad. And Boo gets to celebrate. Hooray! The second time we're gonna see Boo celebration animation. Let's go, Boo. Even though you can't see it because the complete sign is in the way. Real good idea on the programmer's part there. Yeah, and then this hole, which was not that bad. This was actually pretty easy. It just ended up taking me 2 sessions because I only got 1 attempt in on the first session because I had to go after. I only had like 5 minutes after completing that part 3, or that part 5 we just saw. So I just gave the whole 1 attempt and then came back in the next session and took me 2 more attempts. So this was 3rd attempt, I believe? 3rd or 4th attempt. It wasn't bad. It was not bad at all to complete these. And this one looks like it'd be hard, but we were just setting up like it was basically all in Active Valley, so it was fine. And for once, the sand traps did not get in the way. Which is weird for this course, because usually that's the main bubble. And Boo is just gonna go straight for the last rings, because we need somebody that can grab this, and I don't know, I chose Boo. You can really tell the holes why I have a plan, or have played it multiple times, and then you can really tell the holes why I haven't done it multiple times. Because you can see this one where it's like, okay, I gotta do this, that, and the other. Because I gotta have it so perfectly set up. But then you can see the other holes where it's like, okay, this is like my 4th try. I'm still figuring stuff out, and then, oh, I finished it. cool. And Yoshi. Yoshi, 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 Yoshi. Always in a bad spot here, really. Like, always. Freaking sand traps just in the way. Because of course it is. Yoshi was supposed to land on the fairway, but he just got trapped. Well, obviously it's a sand trap, though. Yeah, he got trapped. And then Boo can just chip it on over here. Man, my throat is really itching. I apologize. There you go, all three of those, and then Waluigi just straight shot. Because Waluigi ended up in the perfect position after landing on the fast fairway. It's surprising to me because usually, at least on the 3-player attack, the fast fairway really screwed me on a lot of these holes. It was just in the perfect spot to not give me an easy chance to recover. But then, this time, it actually helped me quite a bit. The fast fairways are a fickle thing, I say. And then Yoshi got a bad bounce, so he's an awkward spot. And I have learned that if I'm in the sand and have a semi-awkward long chip, don't use like the chipping option or the short range shot. Because if you use that, your ball's gonna roll forever, and there's a hill on the other side of this one that Birdo has to hit up. So instead of using the approach option, just use the normal hit. Your ball will come in a lot slower instead of rolling. It'll just bounce a couple times, and that's it. And I got lucky there, because I really overhit that and it curled back into the hole. So, Waluigi making a birdie. Only one who had the opportunity to. And then everybody else just tap in. So yeah, Blooper Bay was not bad. Even with the fails I had, Blooper Bay was actually kind of fun. This is like the last... No, I enjoyed... Oh man, I did enjoy the Peach's Castle. But, man, when we get the Bowser's level, I got some stuff to say. Yeah, 4-person power. This one I thought was gonna be difficult. Like, it looked real difficult. Because we got 4 stacks of wings that are like 2 each. And we got... Obviously, we have to set up shots here. Which kind of sucks to do on par 3s because you only have 3 shots. And that means your second shot is not going to be a chip, it has to be a long range hit. But I decided to go over there with Yoshi and over here with Birdo. Because it just kind of felt appropriate. Even though Waluigi can hit it a lot further than these two. But it felt more appropriate to send these two for these ones for some reason. And then I believe Waluigi gets this. Yeah, Waluigi gets set up with these ones. He could almost go through those wings as well, but I didn't want to push it. So I decided the Waluigi can just land here. If he grabs one of the wings, cool. If he doesn't, cool. And he doesn't. Just barely. But he's set up for that wing. And yeah, we can just do that with... We could just aim over here with freaking Boo because of course he again. Just a curved shot right through both of them. Yep, going straight there. Because of course Boo can do that. That was the nice part about having Boo, is that he could just curve through anything to the right and he could get there above. And now he's on it too. But then we have Yoshi, Birdo, and Waluigi who have to get up here in one more shot and get close enough that part is not difficult. And the wind coming back at us didn't help out too much since this hole is already on a big hill already. It's hard to get up there. So some shots like this, I'm using the 7-iron one just for the extra loft and a little bit extra power, which I should have used, but I did not. And end up almost going down the hill, but just catching the edge. And Waluigi having to do this. Power sandwich. Actually, no, I believe I do use the approach wedge anyways. A power approach wedge. And he just gets through that bottom wing. Hey, how close it is. Because if I do that, it's okay. but it's still just not. But doing that might collect that way. Just on the edge, just gets it. And now it's like, okay, everybody has to make that putt, except for friggin' Boo, which is good, because he has such an awkward putt with chipping. I'd rather chip up this hill than go down it. There we go. Now, awkward putt. Hit it. Nailed it. Waluigi. I think everybody else at this point should be okay, because yeah, it's just a straight putt for everyone else. Birdo was the only one on the hill. So there. So the first hole of Peach's Cast Ground was not difficult. It looked a lot more difficult than it ended up being. But also kind of got lucky with my characters. And if you couldn't tell, yes, that was first try. And Boo gets to celebrate again. So let's go, Boo. Celebrate, boy. And then the second hole. Don't remember if it took me multiple times. I'll see here in a second. Ah, yeah. This one took the longest out of any hole on Peach's Castle Ground. And I mean the longest. This one took me 45 minutes to an hour. And you can tell I'm trying to reset there. Every time you see the HUD disappear, that's me trying to hit the pause button. But I decided I'll go because I was trying to reset there. Because I put the backspin on it, because I thought I was going to backspin into the sand trap, which fails the one. I can't do anything from the sand trap with Yoshi. But since I stayed on the fairway, I stopped trying to give up there. But it was, this hole had such specific things. I'm curious how other people would do it. I'll admit, there was one hole in 4.1 exactly that I had to look up how other people did to figure it out. But for that's not until Bowser's Quest, by the way. For Peach's Castle Ground, no. I did not look up how to do this one. I just figured out how to get it done myself. I figure after, if it takes me over an hour or something close to that, I'll look up how to do it, or if it takes me longer, whatever. I'll look up how other people did it to get a better idea of what I could change or do better. Just because of how difficult some of these things are. And how unprepared I am for most of them. Like this. I mean, the heck am I supposed to do here with Waluigi? I'm still not going through that way. I have to use a driver hitting all the way on the top of the ball. And hitting a very specific amount of power so I don't just bounce straight off of this thing. Because even without hitting the fast fairway, if I hit it long, I will just go straight in the water. Like, it has to be such a precise shot, and I do pull it off. It's still end up in the rough, but that's not in the water, so that's still playable. And Birdo just had the easiest time, just hit over here, hit it through the lane, we had the hole, she's done. It was between, actually Waluigi, Boo, and Yoshi all had a really hard time with the wings. And this is the only time, like the first time I thought, why don't I just go through this wing on the first shot? Or on the second shot, because every other time I went for this wing, I aimed for that little island to the right with the mushrooms. You can't land there, it's just rough. You can't land there and then make it up the next shot. But then I just, for once, I finally just thought, it's like, why don't I just aim up here? I can get both, and I did. I was so frustrated I didn't think about that earlier, because like I said, this was about 45 minutes into this hole. Because, of course, it took me that long to figure it out. And of course I put a backspin on Boo's shot because that was totally needed there. It was not needed. Not at all. But that 5-mile-per-hour wind really did not help. And my controller is not helping me either. If you couldn't tell. The controller is still giving me troubles most of the time. And then that happens. Like, oh great. Waluigi's on the awkward hill. That's not good. And Yoshi's in this very odd predicament here. So we got chip over that. Stop the ball. Cool. All eyes on Waluigi now. You have to put this in, otherwise I'm going to scream. Just puts it in the corner. Alright, Boo, your turn. You're in a better position. That doesn't mean I can't miss, because I've proven I can miss easy putts. Quite a bit. Okay, Birdo and Yoshi, you're basically done just tapping it. I was happy to complete this one. And after 45 minutes, And after taking that long to figure out that the main problem with Yoshi, at least, was getting that one wing not in the second shot, was the problem the entire time. I was a bit frustrated, but happy that I was done with it. Alright, mountain rings. This one I believe also took me 2 attempts. I think we'll see that here in a moment. Actually, maybe not. This might have been first try. I can't remember precisely. Maybe it is first try. I feel like I did fail it once, but we'll see. But I do remember how I did finish this one. I'll admit I was pretty proud of it. But it doesn't seem that bad to start since we got a wing. All the mountains have a wing on them, okay? And Yoshi is the shortest out of all of us, so let's send Yoshi up there. Birdo can come back here and grab this one. Hopefully not get stuck on the deep that mushroom because it looks like a grand old time. Thankfully we just roll between them. Then while Luigi hits the furthest, he can aim for this last wing. But no, not all the way at it, because if I aim directly at it, I'll just go in the out of bounds because of course this fast way right here the way to the scoop. Didn't hit it as far as I wanted to, but still looks like I can recover. Boo in this weird predicament where I'm aiming kind of at the bouncing mushroom. But he can go through this wing just. So we're kind of aiming. Yeah, we're just straight up aiming at the fast way, right? Pretty much. Because there's not much other place we can land, so I'm kind of hoping to land early on the fast fairway and stop before we get too far. Or stop ways before we go out of bounds. Which we do on the left, and we're directly behind the wall. And I mean directly behind that son of a gun. And the game wanted me to do a dumb suggestion by just hitting it down. Or just over the hill in front of us instead of actually aiming at the hole. And look at that, I can aim at the hole. Why wouldn't I aim at the hole? Like honestly, why wouldn't I aim at that? Looking at it, that's a big cause for comfort. Let's put it down a little bit. I actually decided to put a backspin on it because we're aiming at the fast way once again. Hit the bouncy mushroom, went to the left. How many times have I hit the bouncy mushrooms? Honestly. It must be up there around 10 plus times at this point. Like not even counting all failed attempts. And yeah, Waluigi fell down the hill, but he didn't think we needed to go that much. And freaking Yoshi's shot was just aimed in the out of bounds. Like, what the heck, game? That's not nice. Yoshi can actually aim at the hole. And then, of course, kind of did the same thing as Waluigi, but stopped on the hill that time. And then, boom. There's a wall in the way. Can I get around the wall in any good way? No. No, I cannot. Of course, Boo is in trouble, and I don't know how to recover this, so what do I do? I mean, what can I do? I gotta lay up, just hit it short. So he can get around and then aim for the hole in the next shot. Just get the ball over here for a nice and easy putt. Just get it over here. And then this happens. And that looks pretty good. Oh. Just, 134-yard chipping for birdie. Okay, Boo. You can tell I'm just like, what the heck? You can see the break happen right there. It's like, okay, I guess that happened. Cool. And then, but we still gotta get everybody else in the hole. Can't take a break yet. Because we still gotta get everyone else in there. Specifically, Waluigi's the one I'm kind of worried about. And then that happens, like, okay, we're good. And then it's like, oh yeah, Yoshi has this freaking putt. Which I believe I way over-putted. Actually, no, end up short, surprisingly enough. I forgot about that. And then just happens. So this one was first try as well. I could have sworn it was second try, but whatever. So yeah, Peach's Castle's ground, it was literally just one hole. That was difficult. Like, I could see the first one being difficult, the first one. The part 3 one. But it didn't end up being that difficult. And then the second one was extremely difficult. Possibly because problems I caused myself. And then this one, I failed once. Well, no, I failed twice. I failed twice because I ended up going out of bounds. And, well, I didn't mean to. Because it's pretty easy to go out of bounds on this hole. Because any of these chain chomp areas that you see that look like wasteland, they are out of bounds. And there's 12 wings to grab because they're just every single chain chomp hole, or every single chain chomp area has a wing to grab. So you gotta go over every single one of these and just prepare yourself to actually get around every single thing. Because it's actually quite difficult. Because usually you're aiming in between them, you're not aiming at these things unless you really want to try and bounce out of them, which isn't too far-fetched of an idea. However, it's not easy. And friggin' Boo. I believe Boo actually doesn't end up doing much during this one. I think he actually ends up just finishing the hole. Like, I don't think he actually ever collects I think he collects like one wing total. I think most of the work is done by everybody else. And friggin' Waluigi end up in this situation. Directly behind a gosh dang mushroom. But even then, he can still try and go around and collect a wing. Because thankfully he has this kind of curvature. And can get around. And the wind actually does help us quite a bit. By bringing us back to the fairway. So even though he was behind a springy mushroom, he still got a wing. Then Birdo aims to set up for this wing. Because this wing is just kind of in a really weird, well, it's not a weird, it is in a weird spot because it's obviously out of bounds and there's a tree directly in front of it. And then I just ended up just getting onto the ferry, which is what we needed. And Yoshi also just stuck behind the friggin' mushroom. But Yoshi, on the other hand, can't really get around this thing. Like, can't. It's like our best shot right there is aiming at the out of bounds. Like, no matter what I try here, I can't even get around the dang thing. Like, that's the best we got. But we did have a shot earlier. But, you know, Yoshi, just get over there. Get around the mushroom, get to a safe spot, and take your next shot. So I did mistake myself. Boo does actually help out quite a bit here. Because we need someone to grab these 2 wings. Granted, I could do it with Waluigi, who's sitting right there. But Boo has a couple free strokes, he can do it. He can do it. And it does say out of bounds there, but you bounce pretty well out of these things. So I was not worried about landing in the out of bounds. It's a matter of staying in the out of bounds, that's what you gotta worry about. And you also gotta remember, it's a par 5, so we do have kind of an extra stroke if we can get everyone here. So through that wing, over this wing. Crap. Curve to the right. That works. Kind of awkward, but we are here. We are over here. It's hard to see around the wings at this angle, but we are through both of them. So despite that earlier blunder, Yoshi still recovered and was able to grab like 4 out of the 8 wings. Like 4 out of 12 wings. And chipped it for an eagle. Just, you know, a casual chip-in after grabbing 2 wings in that awkward angle. Just, you know, in the hole. Somehow. Yeah, I feel like I was kind of showing off, but even if it wasn't intentional, I'm proud of that one. That was a heck of a chip-in, even if it was an accident. That's why I say what I'm actually going to do. Even if it's an accident, if it went in the hole, it was cool looking, wasn't it? Because it was cool looking. And bird, a freaking tree in the way. Because of course, if anything gonna be blocking us, it's a dash gun tree. But grab the wing. Kind of aimed at the hole, not really. Didn't even make it to the green. It's funny, no one else makes it to the green on this shot. But Yoshi just chipped it in. And then we have to do this awkward shot here because we still gotta grab 1 more ring. And it's right here next to the hole, so I can mess it all up right here. Thankfully we don't and we get past it. But now, we got the real problem here. Everybody's on their birdie shot. meaning everybody has to get this on the green or in the hole. And there's a hill. Like, they put every hole in Wing Attack has a specified hole location. Like, every time you do Wing Attack, the hole will always be at the same spot. And it's usually in a pretty difficult spot. And this one, yeah, it's on a hill. That's a difficult spot. Thankfully, Waluigi's the only one that falls down the hill, but that means he has to recover. And he only has one shot to do it, just catch yourself. And friggin' Birdo and Boo can just tap it down the hill because it's going downhill. And that's it for Peach's Castle Grounds. And now we have... oh gosh, we have Bowser's Badlands. The last 4 holes on the attack. And the video is very halfway over. That alone should tell you how long these took me. Cliff's Edge Urges. This is the last one I was able to do by myself. Well, no, there was one other, but... and yeah, you can see what we said here immediately. This one took me 30 minutes? Somewhere around there? Mostly because this one heavily relies on the player being accurate with the shots. And I have learned that I'm always just off by a couple of frames on like everything. So being very accurate is a pain in the butt. And I got pretty lucky during this hole, you'll see why. But you'll see, look, all the wings are just on the edge of the platforms. And remember, this is the hole that has the edges set up just right. Well, it's set up just right, so if you go down either side of this fairway here, you're gonna end up down in like a rough patch, where you have to try and chip your way out, which is pretty difficult. And obviously you don't want to end up there in Wing Attack because, well, you can't really recover. And we bounce over the wings. That sucks. And we top spin into the bunker. Great. Well, whatever. Alright. Bringing Waluigi's time to shine. I know I'm aiming at the edge of this. I'm not aiming at the fairway. That's because I got a 9-mile-per-hour wind that's pushing the ball forwards, alright? You'd think so. Think. Then you can see the HUD disappears. I'm trying to reset, but you can't pause until the ball comes to a stop. Which I found really frustrating, because I wanted to reset so many times in the little hole. We roll all the way down, but we do end up on the fairway, so we're not in the completely worst spot, but just not in a good spot. Yeah. Would you rather be in a bad spot or a really bad spot? Yeah, it's just a bad answer either way you go, but that's the only answer I had. And somehow still ends up in the bunker. Are you kidding me? Okay, everything's riding on Yoshi now. Because what do you mean everybody else missed the wings? So Yoshi has to try and friggin' shoot the needle here. Shoot the needle? I don't know. I don't remember the phrase. Thread the needle. Thread the needle, that's the phrase. Has to thread the needle and grab 8 and grab 6 out of the 8 wings in one shot. Somehow got that. But we got this wing over here. Neither one of our guys are set up for it. Waluigi could thankfully reach up here. Awkwardly enough. With the pull dredge, he can get up here. So Waluigi's gonna be our saving grace despite being down here. He can hit his way back up and get set up for this wing. And he has to go up immediately. And this hole is so awkward because you can't hit it short because you will hit that bomb. And that bomb will ruin your day. I had it happen once, twice. Trust me. So you gotta hit it over this guy and not past the green. Thankfully we got the edge of it there. And because Birdo and Boo are in the sand though, they can't reach the green yet. So we all three, Yoshi, Birdo, and Boo, are gonna have an awkward approach shot from like 90 yards away. Yeah, Boo, for some reason, just got recommended this, and I just said, you know what? Let's just take the safe option. Because when you're on a hole for half an hour, you start getting frustrated. And freaking tree in the way, of course, there's still a tree in the way. Even though it's a dead tree, it's perfectly in Boo's way. Of course. And then the 9 mile per hour wind comes in too. Like, come on. I don't know why I didn't reset on this one to get a better wind, but I did not. Because the wind zone can really screw you over, and having a low wind can make a world of difference. And then I use the top spin of Yoshi, and it's like, oh boy, why did I do that? Because Yoshi ended up just on the very edge of the fringe, so he could still putt, but it's not good looking. And then Birdo ends up very short. So we got two sides of the spectrum here. We got a putt from the fringe. Granted, it's a straight putt, but it's a putt from the fringe. And we have a putt from down the hill, which is a foot and a half uphill. And I thought I left that short. I got so close to leaving that short. Then Waluigi, no one had an easy putt. Nobody had an easy putt. Everybody had a difficult putt. Like Yoshi had the easiest putt, and he wasn't even on the green. Which should tell you something, because Boo still has to go up the hill too. Thankfully, it goes in. And Boo gets yet another celebration. He's really making up for last time. So that hole took me half an hour. Could you imagine how long the next hole took? You can tell because we have different characters. We don't have Boo anymore. We got Luigi. Because this hole took me an hour and a half. And I do believe I show a fail here. I show one of the fails that I had. But the reason we exchanged Boo for Yoshi, or Boo for Luigi, is because Luigi has a lot more reliable accuracy, even though he does hit it shorter. He hits it shorter than Boo, but it's so much more reliable accuracy. And you can see, Birdo, if done just right, can reach these on the first shot. So I do believe I attempted. So, we'll see how that goes. Oh, no, I don't. I actually smarted up a note before. But I did look up how someone else did this hole, and they used Luigi. And they were using... When I did originally attempt this with Boo, and I did use Yoshi to grab these 3 wings in front of us. But it didn't work out too well because Boo was not very helpful for any of these last 4 holes. He's lucky he got to see that last hole. But Luigi actually helps out quite a bit with this one because that his accuracy being as good as it is, even though he hits shorter, his accuracy is just so much better than Boo's. You can actually just get, if I mess up the shot, if I mess up the accuracy a little bit like that, it doesn't matter, it's fine. Whereas Boo, if I messed that up like that, it'd have been completely all over the place. And also, it ends up like this, with Luigi. You can almost get these wings in one shot. In fact, I think a power forward does. Yeah, power forward can reach them all. So if I do it right, get them all Luigi. And didn't quite do it, but we got a couple of them. One of them, I believe. Which does make it slightly easier, because now we don't have to hit it as perfectly, and we can still get these. I apologize so much for this. My voice is going, and allergies, all that, I apologize. And the other thing of this hole is that almost everyone is going to get hit by the wumps. Or are these wumps or wumps? I don't remember. I even saw the name of the hole, and I already forgot. It's like the wumps baskets. So I believe it is the wump. Either way, you're going to get crushed. Your ball's going to get crushed by all this, which gives you a really bad lie for your next shot. So that's not good. But you can see, I got all the wings. Birdo didn't get crushed, but she's in the heavy water, so she has a bad shot at recovering this. Thankfully, there is a fast fairway here for once. I'm happy the fast fairway is here, because we can use that to boost our way to the hole, or closer at least, and then I have to chip, because Birdo didn't make it. And I didn't even trust myself, I just reset. Because having the chip at that point, after all I've done, I was not confident at all. Then I messed this up completely. So I did show a couple fails in this one, mostly because this hole really frustrated me, and I wanted to show just like the littlest parts. And then I realized, like, why am I doing this with Yoshi? Why am I just sending him over there when I could just set up like I do Birdo and Waluigi? Why? I could do this the whole time. And then I almost end up in the sand trap, and I was a bit scared, I won't lie. But it's like, why didn't I just take the easy route? Because I can just take that second shot, grab the wings, and then go for the hole. Because I know I'll probably be crushed, but I still have a better chance of doing that than I do getting that first shot consistently. And everybody else is doing it anyway, so I'm already relying on it twice. Third time isn't going to be that much worse. And then, you know, Luigi. Because Luigi's just kind of here, because Luigi #1. Although he doesn't win by doing nothing. He has to participate in this. If he won by nothing and he was doing this, I'd be amazed. Then again, I believe somebody did 4-player wing, 3 or 4-player wing attack, and just one of the characters never collected a wing. I can't remember. If you want to see someone play through this game that's a lot better at the game, go watch Metal Yoshi, I think it is. I believe Metal Yoshi does like a lot of stuff in this game. So if you want to see someone do all this way better, go watch him. But I was just happy enough to complete it myself, because I usually don't. But that time, that's what was supposed to happen. Waluigi grabbed all 3 wings, so we have someone as a backup. So I decided, okay, Waluigi can grab these wings. Club up a little bit, there we go. Yeah, Waluigi can just grab these 3 wings. Because why not? Why would I not use these 3? With Waluigi. Because Yoshi didn't grab them, Waluigi can grab all 3. And he does. And he doesn't end up getting crushed. Because of All Stop. That's suspicious. And Birdo. Because, of course, Birdo's still here. Luigi ended up getting his ball crushed, but not Birdo. Birdo could actually get out of it. And then I try a backspin with Birdo this time. Maybe try and keep her from going in the heavy rough at least. Okay, we stayed in the rough, and Yoshi could just play the hole, because Yoshi didn't have to collect the wing this time. And I don't know if I realized that I have the accuracy there. I don't know if I do. I don't realize. So I had to hit that pretty much perfect to actually hit it, so I risked it all right there too. But bounce out the fast fairway, past the hole, oh, straight through the hole really. Now everybody else just has to get here. Okay. Once again, play it easy. Okay. Don't know why I'm doing that, but I did. I do it for Iron Power. Okay. The funny thing is, I recorded this just a few days before this, and I've already forgotten what I did. Like most of these shots, because of how many attempts it took, and all just blended together after a while. And Waluigi just a nice easy shot. Of course, I mess up accuracy, but that doesn't matter too greatly because it does kind of funnel down to the hole. And Luigi, who is actually in a pretty decent spot considering he got crushed by the wall. So just gotta watch out on the percentage down there, which I get a +7. So I should have used a backspin here because Waluigi's gonna crush this ball and go right past the ball. But yeah, I was gonna say everybody has an easy putt, but not really. This green is not that forgiving. Thankfully, Waluigi curves it on in. Nice. I believe, I don't remember what stacked me, there was something stacked me. And then Waluigi has this, where it's curving slightly left and right at the same time. Yeah, I was caught by something, I don't remember what caught my attention here, but something did. Yeah, I just kind of aimed straight at the hole. Thankfully, I did that because I would have missed had I aimed somewhere else. And then Birdo has the easiest, but just slightly sloped to the left. Because I believe Yoshi, even though he's the closest, still has a semi-difficult putt. Yeah, not just like a no-brain putt like we've had past. And then I almost leave it short, but I just get enough power on there. and finally completed after an hour and a half and looking up how someone else did it. Hooray. I can't tell you how badly I was tempted to use save states, but I couldn't even figure it out. I don't know how to use save states on Dolphin, so... And then you'll see, this whole we completely changed the team. Well, except for one kid. We still have Birdo and Yoshi, of course. But I'll just say it now. I believe other people have also said this. This is the hardest hole in Wing Attack. Like, out of all 4 Wing Attacks, this is the hardest hole. So I watched someone else, after attempting this for 3 hours, I watched someone, well no, it was 2 hours. I watched how a couple other people did it. And took the characters they used, but kind of developed my own strategy for it. Like, I still did my own strategy, because you saw Koopa got those first 2 wings. Then Yoshi hit to the far right island? I'll explain why in a second. But then Birdo can grab that wing pretty easily and get set up for the next shot. And then Diddy Kong here, with just a normal power shot, can reach this wing if I do it correctly. And also, Diddy Kong and Koopa are here because, well, that person I watched that I seen easiest way to do it with, at least to me, was using these characters. But also, Koopa and Diddy Kong have really good accuracy. And I was having problems with Koopa here because every other time I've gotten those wings, I could go under the fence. I could just shoot under the fence, but this time I couldn't get under there. And it's like, uh-oh. Maybe a 7 iron power? Because the 6 iron can't make it now. And then, oh. Wait a minute, it can make it now. Okay. Yeah, Koopa, despite not being able to hit far, is by far so accurate. He is the best one to do most of these tricky shots with. I actually think I should have used them earlier. And these 2 wings gave me a hell of a lot of trouble. Because I am 3 iron power. Birdo can make it, right? Missed accuracy slightly. Uh-oh. We hit the side of the fence. We don't go out of bounds. We do stay on the fairway, but we completely wasted the shot. We didn't get a single wing. Because this hole, you really gotta make every shot count. You gotta make every single shot count. And then Diddy Kong. We went between the wings. Because they are spaced apart, they're not right next to each other. This is why Yoshi is here. Yoshi is here as a backup to grab whatever wing was missed. However, both wings were missed. I didn't even think this was a doable shot. But, turns out, with the right angle, you can crack both these wings in one shot and stay in bounds. You go on the heavy left, you're in bounds though. And then Birdo here, who's already used her extra shot, I believe I have to send her over here to this. But then I realized I forgot. Still have this wing to grab. Gotta grab this wing. I could save it for Koopa, but he's already grabbed a couple wings, and he doesn't hit it as far. Koopa has a harder time recovering with some of these shots. Even though he can get this wing, he has a hard time recovering these shots, and getting through the hole itself is difficult for Koopa. So having Koopa on made its own challenges known. So I see that Koopa can aim for the hole from here. There's only one wing left. Let's just get Koopa over there. And I can't tell you how many times I hit the fence. Like the actual fence itself I hit. And that screwed me. Because I'd just go out of bounds afterwards. There's no way to recover. You just hit the fence, you're out of bounds. So, after I had all those wings, I still gotta finish this because everybody is still in recovery mode here. Koopa's the only one that's ready for the next shot. Okay? This is a shot I can do with Diddy Kong. However, do a power shot so I can try and hit through this middle area here where there's less chance of hitting the fence. Mess up the accuracy a little bit. Thankfully, it does not connect up the fence. It's a little overshot, but Diddy Kong can chip back on. Birdo always goes over the fence. I don't know why, but Birdo will go over the fence. Every time I got to this point in any of my attempts when I had any characters, Because Birdo and Yoshi stayed on every team, by the way. I made like 4 or 5 teams to try and do this. And even after I looked up how to... Even after I looked up someone else complete this, a couple other people completed it. It still took me like another hour to do afterwards. Like, this hole is ridiculously hard. Like, everything has to go right, and if you mess up one thing, you have to be able to recover it with someone else immediately, which is why I got so lucky that Yoshi was able to grab those 2 wings in one shot. If that hadn't happened, I think I would have reset again. And then we still got this going on. Because everybody still has to get in there. And everybody's on their last shot here. Like, we're still right there. I shouldn't have put a backspin on that because I would have chipped in, but whatever. Okay, everything's basically right on Birdo here because she's the only one with an awkward button. Just enough power. I mean, I believe 1% less power we would have missed. Thankfully, everybody else just a chip in. Or just a chip in. Just a tap in. There we go. Koopa, just hit your ball. Put it in the hole. Done. Finally. That took over 3 hours of attempts. I don't even remember how many attempts it was. I didn't count them. I gave up after 40. But there we go. The hardest hole in wing attack right there. But there's still 1 hole left. And we failed it. I was so excited from finishing the other hole, I just decided I'm not even going to change characters. We're just going to keep going with what we have because this hole doesn't look that bad. This hole looks completable compared to that other one. And thankfully, it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty easy. We just got to get everybody in the rings here. Because, although we do have to set some characters up because obviously Yoshi and Koopa can aim for these 2 because they're straight hitters. They can aim straight for these 2 and grab these wings. Immediately land on the green sometimes, not always. Sometimes Koopa would end up in the sand, other times Yoshi would end up in the leftover sand. And this time, yeah, Yoshi ends up in the sand, but Koopa stayed on the green. Then we got these awkward wings on the outside here. Because like, we gotta land on these areas here, which is kind of awkward to do. Because I think there's a bit of fairway and rough, but everything else is sand that you can land on. And we kind of gotta aim for the sand so we can get close enough to make our shot. So bouncing out of the rough into the sand. And then Diddy Kong has to do basically the same thing, but from the right side, because he curves that way. And you gotta be careful, because that wind. And it's not bad, but even a 3-mile-per-hour wind can mess you up if you don't account for it correctly. And being on as high up as this hole is, it can mess you up either way. Now we just gotta get Birdo and Yoshi, or Birdo and Diddy Kong through the rings and next to the hole. Because keep in mind, we're still hitting from 30 yards up here. It's still 30 yards down to the hole from up here. Like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Nice shot. There we go, through the wing. Almost in the hole, actually. Because this hole, thankfully, they were nice enough to make it the hole placement where it is kind of curved. Like, the green kind of curves back, curls around the hole, kind of like a bowl design. I am very much appreciated on that. But friggin' DK, or Diddy Kong here, has such a hard time. I should have hit it further with him, but I was afraid. And I was afraid to hit it any further. Because you gotta keep in mind that this is a par 3. We only have 3 shots, and 2 of them have to hit from that awkward angle here. And Yoshi here still has to get up here. And he does. Now Koopa just has to get it down the hill. Put it in. Yeah, don't make it, because of course you do make it. Now everybody just tap it in. Just tap, tap, tap it with. There's Diddy Kong. Here's Koopa. Here's Yoshi. Eventually. And then it's down to Birdo. And that's it. 4-player wing attack. complete. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.